I really have the pleasure to welcome Jens Gröger, who's a research coordinator at the Berlin office of the Öko Institut in Freiburg. And they have done quite a huge study on the environmental impact of AI. And I think this is really a topic which is very underestimated, the impact, especially in the film industry, where now we have all these workshops and things, and write your script with AI, and maybe there are also some applications where it can really save energy, but I think it also has a lot to do with waste of resources. But I will really let the expert on this speak. So please welcome Jens Gröger on stage.
All right. This presentation is not specifically about filming industry, but about artificial intelligence in general. So you really have to break it down to your business then. Only my last slide is a little bit about filming. We did a study commissioned by Greenpeace, who asked us, we would like to have an overview what we have to expect as environmental impacts from artificial intelligence, and not only the energy consumption, but also other environmental impacts such as water consumption, greenhouse gas emissions, and electronic waste and things. And so we did that study last year, and it's online available. And these are the main results we found. We started with our estimations in the year 2023, because then these were the data that were already available. And we can see this is the power consumption of data centers worldwide. And the green one, the green bar, are the traditional data centers, like companies and search engines and so on. The yellow one is the crypto mining, like Bitcoin and the others. And the red one is specific artificial intelligence data centers. So these data centers that have lots of graphic processing in there to do all this artificial intelligence stuff. The interesting thing is that actually the energy consumption is quite steadily rising. In total, all data centers together, it's not set here, it's about the lower scenario is 12% and upper scenario 20%. I guess it's about 15% rising every year. But especially the energy consumption of artificial intelligence, as you see with the red bar, is extremely rising. It's an 11-fold rising from 2023 to 2030. And yeah, I mean, you see these curves yourself. This town is Frankfurt am Main, and quite interestingly, right now, or in the year 2023, it was around 41% of the electricity being consumed in Frankfurt am Main was already in data centers. Hello? Yeah. So there are quite a lot of data centers in Frankfurt am Main, and actually the power cables are already getting short there, and it's quite difficult to build up new data centers, for example, but also other industries that need electricity in Frankfurt am Main because they don't actually have enough energy. Right now, it's supposed to be 50% of the electricity consumption there. I took this as an example because there are other hot spots where lots of data centers are being located. Like Beijing, London, Singapore, Frankfurt, Amsterdam, and Dublin. Dublin is quite interesting because there, 79% of the electricity consumption is being consumed by data centers. Actually, it's in Dublin, it's quite a big problem that all these data centers take all the electricity there. And we heard from UK and from Ireland as well that housing projects, for example, could not be realized because was no electricity for these housing projects because it was all taken from data centers. Also, we observe local resistance against this, and we know from the United States, for example, that nobody really wants to have these data centers nearby. And why is not only the electricity consumption, but also other things that I will show on this slide. What we can see here, it's a infrared picture of the Grok data center of Elon Musk in Memphis, USA. And the red dots that you can see are the exhaust fumes of the gas turbines being located there. Because there is not enough electricity there in Memphis. They have just put up 30 gas turbines and firing all the time to feed that data center. And for sure, this not only causes greenhouse gas emissions, but also other exhaust fumes that is bad for the people living there. This is a picture about estimated greenhouse gas emissions, and we start here in 2023 with 212 million tons of carbon emissions, and we'll actually double this number approximately to the year 2030. Interestingly, just because these electricity needs of data centers are rising so extremely, and there is not enough power locally available, actually they build up these fossil-fueled power plants, or at least they use existing fossil-fueled power plants and extend their lifetime or their runtime. There's another thing happening, the revival of nuclear power financed by wealthy tech companies. For example, Microsoft just paid for repairing that old nuclear power plant in Pennsylvania at Harrisburg. Maybe some of you remember this name, which is already 50 years old, and they extended the lifetime to 70 years to squeeze out a little bit more energy of this. And other of these tech companies like Amazon, Google, Meta, they're investing in small nuclear power plants. These are these tiny power plants which not really destroy a whole, let's say, region when exploding, but only a whole city. And it's not quite new, these power plants. They actually already existed for submarines and decentral firing of certain military projects, and they try to use these. Actually, we don't like this, and actually we also see that there is quite a lot of danger behind this. But fortunately, this only happens in certain situations. The more likely thing is that they really put up fossil-fueled power plants to run these data centers. This one is the Berlin Wannsee. Unfortunately, right now it's not hot enough to take a bath there, but it's quite popular. And the Berlin Wannsee, I took this because it contains approximately 15 billion liters, which is the number that is being evaporated by German data centers. Because data centers also not only need electricity, they also need water for cooling down. At least they could. They don't have to, but they could use water to evaporate. And the approximate number linked to the German data center electricity consumption is these 15 billion liters. And we see data centers popping up in regions where water is really scarce. So where water then does not, cannot be used to have the fields watered, or even where drinking water gets short because of these data centers. These are the numbers starting 2023, 175 billion of liters, rising from a factor 4 times to 2030 to 664. And also here we see the dark blue. Hello. Yes, this sometimes also evaporates. the AI data centers have the largest share of the water consumption, because actually they are have a very high power density, because they're calculating so much. And to get rid of all this heat produced in the data centers, it's quite usual to use water there. This is a picture taken from a colleague of mine in Akbok Bloshi in Ghana, which is a electronic scrap dump. Actually, this is not only a dump, but it's a recycling space, because next to this place, people burn the cables over the fire to get to the copper in there, or they melt the what you call it, tin. They melt the printed circuit board to get these metals from them, and all this electronic stuff ends there. And actually, what we have in this study we did for Greenpeace, we calculated how much electronic waste will be caused by all these data centers, and it ended finally up with 4 million tons of e-waste from these data centers between 2023 and 2030. Last slide, some figures relating to specific AI tasks. I was talking about the big picture, what's happening worldwide. And if we look at the smaller picture, we see here that generating one image, for example, by an AI bot only causes 1 watt-hours/2 grams of CO2. You'd say that's nothing. One ChatGPT request is about 2 watt-hours and 1 grams of CO2. 1 second video generation is already a little bit bigger, 200 watt-hours, 100 grams of CO2. The last point, making a funny cat video by writing a script and by doing some ChatGPT queries and so on, and producing a 10-second funny cat video, already consumed 2,000 watt-hours, or approximately 1 kilogram of carbon emissions. And you'd say, well, that's not much. I can drive also whatever, some kilometers with a car and produce the same. The unfortunate thing is that it's quite easy to really use all this stuff, and everybody's using it because everybody's bored and playing around with a smartphone and producing lots of these carbon emissions unintendedly, and surely doesn't get any feedback how much he did or she did produce outside. So that's it, and I'd ask you for questions.